everyone, and welcome to the For Fun of Knit podcast. This is a podcast all about the fun and frivolity of fiber, where I share my adventures and misadventures in knitting, and there's a lot of misadventures, so hopefully that appeals to you. I figure if I'm making mistakes and being able to fix them, I figure if I share that, that might be helpful for you. Anyway, this is a podcast, as I said, all about my knitting. No social or political commentary here, just pure fun of fiber. And I get into all sorts of things. Sometimes I do a little bit of crochet, very little. I've just started spinning. Yes, a little bit about that later. But for the most part, it is about knitting. But for those of you that are new here, thank you very much for giving my channel a view. If you are returning, thank you so much, folks. It's so much fun to catch up with you when I post these videos out. Today's video is a little bit different. Not different, really. It's going to follow the traditional format. I just dropped my book. The traditional format. But I wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to celebrate some of you that have been participating in the MerriMinimal. If you are not familiar with the MerriMinimal, hashtag MerriMinimal23. By all means, it's not too late to join. Susan from Wild Cottage, Ireland Knitting, and myself have partnered up to just celebrate knitting with minis. It is that time of year. We started this mal in August. It runs all the way to January 6th. So you got lots of time to pull out those minis and start a project. And the rules are pretty simple. You have to use a minimum of 2 minis. That's the rule. 2 minis. We're trying to stay away from just toes, heels, and cuffs of a sock. Because, I mean, we do that anyway, but this is really to encourage you to use the minis. Susan and I are both Advent fans, and we've collected minis over the years, and we thought, oh, we better do some stash busting and start working on them. And we just invited you all to participate. And we've had a lot of participation. This is a lot of fun. We've had, I think, 42 individual entries on Instagram and 68 on Ravelry. So Instagram, you would just use hashtag MerriMinimal23. And if you want to join through Ravelry, it's just under for the Fun of Knit with 2 T's. You'll find that group, and there is a post thread there for you to enter your project. Now, you don't need to finish your project. What I will say is you have to show a photo of you starting your project. So thank you to everyone who sent photos of the yarn they were going to use, because it's a lot of fun to see all the caked up and balls of minis ready to go. But we certainly want to see a project started. So again, you don't need to finish. This is all about encouraging you to use up those minis. If you don't have minis and only have scraps, well, you can actually cake up a minimum of 10 grams and a maximum of 25 grams, and that counts. So the world is your oyster. You can do pretty much anything that you like. Anyway, so I do want to go over who the winners are for that. We've chosen 2 from Instagram and 2 from the Ravelry. So you can post everywhere you want. And it's a bit of a leap of faith because Instagram is not as easy to pull winners from randomly because they move. You move. So you are chosen randomly at a given moment in time. I'm just going to say that. Anyway, I'm also going to just cover off a few not finished objects. I have no finished objects this time. Wow, crazy. I will have a finished object or 2 for the next podcast, but for today, I just want to catch you up on a couple of whips and 1 new cast on. So without further ado, drum roll please, we have some winners. Now, what are you going to win before I announce? What are you winning? Well, this is just going to be random. I have 3 in this case. I should clarify. Sorry, you're going to hear a lot of crinkling. The prizes. So the prizes technically were supposed to cut off at as of November 5th, which I have stuck to that. But there was a delay in actually me posting the results. So I apologize for that because I was traveling. But for any of you that entered after November 5th, do not worry, you are totally eligible for the prizes in January. So there are 2 buckets of prizes, November 5th, up to November 5th, and then all the way from the beginning all the way to January 6th. So 2 buckets of prizes, lots of opportunity to win. And the prizes, the big prizes at the end, there will be a gift certificate to your favorite yarn store, prize for the European folks, as well as the UK European folks, as well as the North American folks. So we will figure that out in January. So I do believe we committed to, I can say for myself, I don't want to speak for Susan, so I'm just gonna, because I'm going off memory now, but for me it was $50 Canadian equivalent gift certificate to your favorite yarn store. Plus we have some other prizes, like we have a needle set, Knitter's Pride needle set, and we have some other wonderful yarny goodness in January. For this giveaway, we have 3 different sets of minis. Like, you need more minis. Wait, guys, it's a mini. It's a mini mal. So guess what? You're getting some more minis, enough to make a set of socks. So there you go. There's going to be 3 of you are going to win that, and 1 of you is going to win this beautiful Christmas-themed project bag from I Heart You, Laura from Vancouver Island, who is a project bag maker. But certainly want to get these out to you. So when I call your name, you will get surprised as to what you get. It just makes it easier for me that way. But when I put your names up, make sure that you direct message me either through Instagram, or you can email me at the forfunofknitvlog@gmail.com and give me your details as to where I'm supposed to mail the prizes. So, drum roll. Drum roll. The first name pulled from Instagram was Handmade Bee. Thank you very much. So you are a winner. The second winner from Instagram is Bradley1573. Congratulations. From Instagram, we have 2 winners. We have Mystery Sewer. Congratulations. You had numerous entries. Thank you for all the mini love. And so, Mystery Sewer, you are a winner, as well as Gugvita. I do believe I pronounced that right. Gugvita is also, and I'll have everything down below here so you can see. So thank you so much. 4 winners from round 1, and we will have a minimum of 4 winners for the big prizes at the end in January. Again, if you're knitting on anything that includes 2 minis or more, by all means, it has to be a minimum 10 grams, maximum 25 grams per mini. Please enter the MerriMinimal23, hashtag MerriMinimal23, and see if you can't just scoop up a couple prizes. Anyway, so that was the fun part. I totally wanted to share that with you. And I think I'm looking in the wrong spot because I think my camera is in a different spot today. I wanted just to show you some updates. For those of you that have been following along, I have 3 whips and then 1 new cast on. So the whip you are familiar with, let's go over those first. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so I don't know where I was last time, but these are my autumn socks. And I love these. These are beautiful. This is Fibre Nymph Dyeworks in her Mountain Tweed and in the colorway Earth Tones. And so I think the last time I had almost finished the first tube, I am now almost finished the second tube. And why I'm doing tubes, so these are cuffed down, I am doing them on a 9-inch circular with 2.25 needles. And when I'm doing the 9-inch circular, I use 1 of the longer needles and 1 of the shorter needles. I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. 1 of the long and 1 of the short. And that just fits my hand really well. And certainly when I'm going around in a circle. And I decided just to do crank, I guess, my own hand knitted cranked tubes because I want to do contrasting toes and heels, but I don't have the right yarn. And I started these in Spain when I was away, and so I didn't have the right yarn. So now I have to go through my mini stash and find a mini that I like that is going to finish off these socks appropriately. But look at them. I love the tweed. It is so nice. This is such a, it's a soft but sturdy feeling knit. And there's just something so autumnal about this colorway, obviously. But Lisa does such a great job of dyeing that, I just love these. And I'm still going to have a significant amount of this left. So don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'll think of something. I'll probably have to wind some more minis. But that is coming along, and that is just, it is not in a project bag. It's in my KLM toiletries bag. There you go. As I always say, my favorite, and I think one of my viewers, I forgot your name right now, used to be a flight attendant with KLM. And yes, still my favorite airline. Still my favorite airline. The next work in progress, which you're also familiar with, is also a pair of socks. And I hadn't gotten very far on these when I showed them, but now I have. I've gotten along, well, I've gotten further. I'm not finished. I was hoping to have these finished. But I tell you, no. My Stephen West shawl is taking me a lot of effort to work on. I'm not showing that today. I'll show that to you next time. But there you go. These are I love these. So now these, again, 64 stitch socks. 2.25 needles, but I am doing them 2 at a time, magic loop on Hia, or Hia, I'm not too sure how to say that. And this is a 3x1 rib pattern. The yarn here is Hue Loco, which I absolutely love her dyeing. This, I hope you can see the color properly, but it's actually a teal and rose gold variegated stripe is the only way best, variegated and speckled all at the same time. She just does such an amazing job. And then I have just chosen a gray tweedy mini for the heels, for the toes. I'm knitting tubes again because this was airplane knitting, and trying to do heels or toes on an airplane, I lose count. So all I can do is go in the round. But I've made a significant amount of progress on this, so I'm looking forward to hopefully at the next time I'll have these finished for you. So that is my work in progress number 2. I have more than 2 works in progress. You guys know that. But that is that one. And let me just go along. Hang on a second. Oh, got to put these back. And these are in my bag by Diane in my Halloween. They're still in my Halloween bag because, oh, I forgot to tell you the yarn name. Oh, it's called the Order of the Phoenix, which is a Harry Potter colorway, of course, because, you know, I was doing these in the fall. So those are my 2 sock whips. Now, for those of you that have been around for a while, you will remember that Patrick put yarn away for me, and I was supposed to be knitting the yarn every month and making a pair of socks. Well, this is definitely October's yarn. These fall socks were not in that at all. These were just an arbitrary choice of mine. Excuse me for a second. Okay, so I do believe this was August's yarn, which is a beautiful, I don't know if you can see the stellina, but it is a beautiful variegated blue from Black Cat Custom Yarns in their Blingtron base. That was August. This was September, which is Ancient Arts, and I can't remember the name at the moment, it's escaping me, but it was an autumnal sort of colorway. So I haven't knit August's yarn or September's yarn. I arbitrarily pulled out the Fibre Nymph one and started knitting on those socks. And then I went right into October's yarn, which was Order of the Phoenix. So, yeah, I think that's correct. I'm starting to think now in my mind that maybe I pulled Order of the Phoenix out of the hat too. And I didn't. Oh, I'm going to have to go back. Now I'm going to have to go back. I'll correct myself in the next video. I'm pretty sure this was August and September. But then what was October's yarn if it wasn't Order of the Phoenix? It's really helpful when you have your husband pull out yarn for you and then you just do your own thing anyway. But anyway, so on that vein, let's do November's yarn. Okay, so I don't know. I am not going to get to it in November. I can tell you that right now. But it has been fun. It has been fun having my husband choose yarns for me and surprising me with my own yarn. Ooh, this is pretty. Oh, ooh, my goodness, I might have to knit these. Oh, look at this. Can you see this? I hope you can see that. That is a beautiful, sorry, the lighting's really weird today. I don't know what to say about it. This is the Cozy Knitter, who is also the same company that does the 24 stripe Advent. And this is her Winter Wonderland self-striping in her shimmer base. And she has paired it with just a silvery cream stellina as well. So that is really pretty. How appropriate for winter. Now, I'm looking at that and immediately I go to this one and I go, oh, do I have to knit socks? Maybe I could use both skeins together and do something very wintry. Ooh, like a cowl or something. Ooh. And then get both done. Who said I had to knit socks? This just occurs to me as I'm looking at these two beautiful, they're both stellina and they have similar colors. If anybody has any ideas on what I could make with these other than socks, I would love to know. Because what do I have? I know I have 400 and some odd yards. I think I have, yeah, this is 420 yards. Oh, because of the mini. So I have 400 yards of that and I have 400 yards of this. That's 800. I could almost make a ranunculus or something. Anyway, if anybody has any ideas, please share. I would love to know because that is something. Anyway, so those were two of the works in progress that I am working on. The other one, as you know, and I'm not going to show too much of this, is my beautiful, oh, my beautiful granny square black blanket. This thing is huge. And I do believe the last time you saw it, I was somewhere at this orange stripe. And so I have just done from the orange. I'm trying to do 4 stripes every day. That's a lot. I might have to pare it back down to 2 because that takes a long time. This is a very, okay, so take this and double it. It's like, yeah. I cast on 300 chains and away I went. And I cast on with a much bigger hook than what I'm using. And of course I've dropped my hook and I do believe it's a 4mm hook that I am using for this blanket. But look at this baby. It is just gorgeous. And this is coming back with me to Spain when I go because this is going to be the throw for the sofa. So I just love this baby. Oh, I just love everything about doing this project. It is so therapeutic. So that is all my existing whips that you're familiar with, but now I have a new cast on. And this cast on was inspired by Leanne of the Nitty Stew podcast. If you haven't watched her podcast, which I'm sure you all do, she is a flight attendant for WestJet, and she has a fabulous podcast where she takes you along with her and goes on little tours of the city, including some of the yarn shops. And I went to yarn shops. Can't remember if I said this in my last podcast, but I went to yarn shops in Ireland in the Wexford area. It was all acrylic. Don't ask me. But then, so the week we were there, it was all acrylic. The 3 shops that I went to, it was all acrylic. But the week after, so we had already returned to Spain, the week after, they had their very first indie dye show in County Clare. Susan was texting me that. And I'm like, oh, how did I not know that? Oh, I would have loved to have gone. But anyway, so the Knitty Stew and the Cut Bank Girls, so Cut Bank Girls is a different podcast. They are hosting a knit along for Caitlyn Hunter's any of Caitlyn Hunter's Halibut patterns. So I'll put a picture up so that you can see. I'll put a picture up. I'll try and move over so I can stick a picture there. But the halibut, and I am using this beautiful, beautiful yarn in the colorway Midnight Shadows. It is a DK. It's called Delicious DK by Crafty Jack's Boutique. Crafty Jack's Boutique. And this is BFL, 100% BFL. And in the Midnight Shadows colorway, and it is just gorgeous. It's a little toothy, but soft. And I'm pairing it with my Drops Charisma in colorway 72, because there is no colorway for this, just 72. So it's a light gray. And I am loving, loving, loving this knit. I think this is on... what is it? I am using 4.5 millimeter or US 7 Chaigu needles. And you can see I'm not very far. This is what it looks like. I'm doing the crew neck version. I'm doing the sweater. I should say that. There are 4 patterns. There is a cowl pattern, a hat pattern, a mitten pattern, and the sweater pattern. I'm doing the sweater pattern. I think I will have enough yarn to also do the cowl. And there's something about that really resonates with me, to have this sweater as a crew neck and then a nice beefy cowl that matches. And I have just started the color work, folks. I cast on. You can't even see it. I have just started the color work. I probably shouldn't even have showed you this yet. But you can see I've done the short rows. There are short rows in the back. I did a, it calls for a 1x1 rib, but I did, what is it called? When you knit through the back, loop? Corrugated rib? No. Twisted rib? No. I don't know what it's called, but I just did a more sturdier sort of rib where you knit through the back and purl as regular. There's a name for it, and I'm drawing a complete blank. Why? I can't remember. I don't know. But, so there you go. In a nutshell, you can't see very much, but I'm absolutely going to love it. I'm going to love it. And it's not scratchy at all. And I love that it's not superwash. And that is an ode to Leanne, because Leanne tends to knit most of her stuff in more rustic, non-superwash wools. So I figured, hey, and this wool, this yarn was one of my I should put this in Selma's Little Big Knits Deep Stash Make Along. Because I bought this, I swear I bought this in Knit City, one of the very first Knit City Vancouver I went to in 2018. That is how long this puppy has been sitting there. And it is gorgeous. So I am glad I am finally going to knit with it. And yeah, so I just cast it on. I'm very excited to knit this and see the progress. I'm just on the chart, and I have to blow the chart up. I was trying to knit on my iPhone with the chart on my iPhone, and I'm using, one of my knitting besties, Noreen, taught me about, as an alternative to Knit Companion, just upload your pattern to iBooks if you have an iPhone or an iPad. And then you can actually use the marker feature, and you can actually mark off and write all over the page if you want with a pen, like with your finger. And it will write numbers. You can write numbers. You can just highlight so you know where you are, and it saves it. So if you get out of the program and go back in, it saves it so you never lose your place. Very important. So I was using my iPhone with the fish chart, and I mean, it was tiny. And I'm trying with my pinky to try and highlight the one line. You know, oh, I've done that row. No, I need a bigger pattern. So I'm going to actually print it off. I could use my iPad, I suppose, but I'm going to print the chart off so that I can actually see it and really start working on it, because it was a little bit too finicky looking on an iPhone. But anyway, so that is my most current whip that I am in love with, and I have that in the Woolen Frog, a bag by the Woolen Frog. And I understand the Woolen Frog doesn't sell yarn anymore, but she's still making her project bags. And look, this is an ode to Duke. It's all about puppy love. I miss my buddy. I do miss my buddy. But that was it. That is it for my works in progress. And for what's on my needles next is obviously the halibut. I am contemplating, I am not going to promise, or commit, I get is probably a better word, but I really would like to do some sort of Vlogmas. I am thinking about it. I'm trying to figure how I'm going to do that with some of the technical issues I'm experiencing when I go back to Spain. I'll be traveling, but I really would like to do that, because honestly, it makes me feel so festive and so happy, and all I want to do is drink eggnog lattes pretty soon. It's not December 1st yet, but as soon as it's December 1st, I'm having an eggnog latte. But anyway, so not a lot of chatter today either. Again, like, this is a supplemental episode just to make sure that I was able to celebrate the winners of the MerriMinimal for the first tranche of prizes. So congratulations, everybody. The only thing I want to say is, one, yeah, like I was talking about, thinking about doing Vlogmas, just trying to figure out how that would work. And the second thing is I'm here for 3 weeks and I'm taking spinning classes in person so I can start spinning. I've had my wheel for 2 years and I've been off again, on again, you know, trying it. And this, I think, is the right thing for me to take a course in person. I have 6 peeps. And crazily enough, I forgot to mention, crazily enough, the wonderful lady who is Crafty Jack's Boutique is also my instructor in spinning. Talk about a small world. Like, didn't know that. It wasn't until I posted my halibut sweater on and I tagged Crafty Jack that I realized it's the same person. Crazy. Anyway, so she's lovely and we are having a wonderful time, and my next lesson is Wednesday night. So hopefully I will continue to learn spinning, dabble in it now. I'll have to take a break when I go away, but when I get back, I want to just dive deep into spinning and see how far I can get. Anyway, that's it for me for the time being. I hope you are all doing well. I hope I was able to keep you company just for a little bit while you knit. And I look forward to chatting with you the next time. Thank you so much for watching, and take care, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.